Hey y'all, I'm gonna do a quick reading for y'all tonight. I know y'all been seeing my videos. The last one I did, it just takes too long for some reason at my apartment for the videos to load. So I can start the loading, to upload it tonight, and it will not post until sometime tomorrow. So I'm still gonna do the videos, but I'm not gonna do them as much as I do the shorts. I was gonna do a short tonight, but too many cards came out, and so this is gonna be a longer reading. So thank you for joining me tonight with this reading. Thank you guys for liking, sharing, and subscribing to this channel. Thank you for riding along with me on this journey as we try to find enlightenment through tarot. And as I said in the last video, and I'm going to start saying in all my videos, everything is not going to be for you. If it resonates, then it's for you. If it doesn't resonate, then it's not for you. If I say he, it could be she. If I say she, it could be a he. Just take it as it resonates for you. This may or may not be for you at all. You know what I'm saying? So I have cards that I've drawn on the table already. Usually for the shorts, I do 6 cards, which is what I was trying to do. But tonight I have 8 cards on the table, and we're going to clarify these cards that I have. And the cards that are on the table is from the Oracle deck, one of my Oracle decks. Oh, excuse me. So sorry. So I've already meditated over these cards, and we're going to ask Spirit to come in to give us a clear, concise message for those that need to hear this message, that you receive it. Eat the meat, spit out the bones. Do not get upset at tarot readings. If it's not applying to you, it's not for you. Okay? Spirit ancestors, the Most High God, I'm asking that you would bless this reading, that we get a good understanding of what it is that you want to say to the collective tonight, so that it reaches the people that it's supposed to reach. I pray that you lead and guide me to say what needs to be said and to interpret these cards the way you would have me to interpret them. Okay? My first card on the table is the Drama Magnet, and it is in the upright. And as you can see, there's a person in the foreground that's walking around with a dark cloud over their head and broken hearts and all kind of chaos and stuff. This is a person, whoever this person is, everywhere they go, they bring trouble. They bring chaos. They bring strife with them. They're at odds with everybody. This a type of person that likes arguing. They like starting stuff. They like, trouble. They like to pick and prod at people. They're at odds with everybody. It's like this is a person that do you remember Snoopy and Linus and Snoopy, Charlie Brown and all of that? They had in a little group of Snoopy's friends and Charlie Brown's friends, rather, they had a little boy. I don't remember his name. Pigpen, I think. Pigpen walked around with a dirty cloud that just hung, I think it was over him, and he had a dirty blanket that he dragged around, that when he walked, it used to drag on the ground, and it'd be dirt all around him and stuff. And he was just a kid that was dirty all the time, hence the name Pigpen. So that's what it reminds me of when I see this card. This is somebody that everywhere they go, they have this dark cloud over their head. You see people in the back looking at them, some in shock and some just looking at them like, they don't want to be bothered with this person because they know what this person is about. That when they see them coming, what I see in this picture is people going in the opposite direction, staying away from this person, keeping an eye on them, but staying away from them because they don't want to be involved with this person. They don't want to be bothered with this person because they know it's going to be some drama. Peace feels boring to this person, according to this card. But you don't have to join the circus, because it probably is going to be a circus with this person. It's going to feel like a circus because it's a clown right here, okay? Second card on the table is a late night call card in the upright. This is the type of person that know that people don't want to be bothered with them. They walk around all day starting stuff with people, and people backing away, and they notice that people pull away from them because of how they behave, and you know, they always running their mouth. Got a big mouth. This person I just heard got a big mouth. So, late night call card is the booty call card, because why is anybody calling you late at night? Unless it's an emergency, what do they really want? You know what I'm saying? And this person, knowing that people shy away from them, don't want to be around them, and don't want to be bothered with them, they really probably ain't got no friends, no real friends. You know, they probably have associates or what have you. They probably get lonely and be bored, and you know, they want some kind of connection, whether it's good or bad. So this will probably be why they do the late night calls, trying to hit somebody up to see if they can get some attention or possibly somebody, you know, the booty call card. Because they trying to soothe their emotions that they keep hidden from everybody while they walk around all day looking like this and starting stuff and bringing chaos. But late at night is when all their emotions come out and they by themselves. They want some attention, so any attention will do. So they on the phone and they call them to see who they can, you know, do the booty call thing with. Because that's going to feed their ego. So apparently this person bringing the chaos, they said, it says peace feels boring to them. This is a person that operates out of their ego. So they get a kick out of messing with people. But it also is a drawback from that, where people don't fool with them too much. So this is why late at night, they think they're under the cover of darkness or whatever, or it's late. If they get that booty call in, they trying to, you know, do it under the cover of darkness, where they feel like nobody would see them if they was to go handle that, you know what I'm saying? And try to keep it between whoever they calling. This person is having some issues because they're having problems making connections, real connections with people, probably having problems making real friends. They probably don't have no real friends, like I said before. This is a person, third card is a CEO energy card. It came out in the reverse. This person is not in boss energy mode. They're not in boss energy, period. They are a person that probably is having some issues when it comes to their finances. That's why the CEO card, energy card, is in the reverse. They, whatever the issue is, let me see. Let me see what this card is saying. They're not running the show, so something is happening with them where they're not on top of their game the way it should be, the way they want it to be, or the way it could be. So they're not on boss energy, but they still got the nerve or the audacity to make booty calls, late night calls for the booty call. I keep saying this wrong. So apparently that is not bothering them enough to where they're not trying to hit somebody up, you know, with a late night call. So CEO energy or not, this person is going to get that in. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay. Next card is the office politics card. And it's in the reverse, okay? So it's a lot of talk going on about this person. Maybe at work, whatever this person is doing or has done, maybe they fell off. And there's a lot of talk going on at work and in social groups about this person. And they're discussing how this person is not in that boss energy no more. And so some of the things that they're doing, there's an old song that used to be out back in the 80s called What People Do for Money. You know, and we used to listen to it on the radio back home. It used to come on late at night with Mojo. on FM 98, a Detroit station that I used to tune in to and listen to all the time. And Mojo had a special hour, and he would play all the jams. And back then, what people do for money, I forgot. Soul Sonic Force? I don't know who, I might have the group wrong, but that song popped in my head when I said they fell off. They might have fell off. So this person, these people are talking about this person because it's possible that this person is doing something for money. Word on the street is, and word at work, if they're working, the people are talking about what this person is doing for money right now, because maybe they're about to lose a job, they're not working like they used to, or maybe they lost a job already and they out here doing something, for money. So the office politics card is people are talking about it in groups. Groups of people, and it's spreading probably because if they're talking amongst themselves, they're talking to other people, because that's how rumors are getting started about this person. This person is out here doing something for money. All right. And to confirm that, the next card is the spill the tea card. It's in reverse. Both of these are in reverse because this person doesn't want it to get out what they're doing. This late night call is not necessarily them just getting attention. This person may be late night calling because they're out here doing something for money late at night. Male or female, doesn't matter. And so it's out here twice in the reverse. The people are talking about it, but they don't want it. It's in reverse because this person is trying their best to keep this quiet, and it's not working. Okay? They don't want people to know what they're out here doing. So they really don't want nobody to know. That's why you got these cards in the reverse and next to each other, came out back to back. That's why it's like this. They don't want nobody to know how bad they're doing, that they then fell off. They're not in that CEO energy. They're not in that boss energy. If they don't want nobody to know that they out here doing something probably they shouldn't be doing. Okay. Next card is the drunk text card in the upright. So this person is drinking. If they already used to drink, they're drinking more than they ever have before. They are trying to drown out their issues that they're having right now. They're trying to drown out the problems that they're having, what they're having to do to, make money right now. That their life is not where they would like it to be. And when they go have drinks now, they're overindulging and they're getting lit. They're getting drunk. This is not just the buzz. This is getting drunk. And it says liquid courage, honesty, late night confessions, unfiltered emotions. A drunk mind speaks a sober heart. So this person is getting super drunk and running their mouth and talking about things. They say when people get drunk, they start telling the truth. So this is what's going on with this person. They're trying to drown out what's happening in their life, because when they go home, they got to deal with family drama. That's in addition to what they're out here doing that possibly the family don't know nothing about. Now, if you look closely, you see two people in the background that are arguing, a man and a woman. And whatever the man is saying with the angry cloud over his head is breaking the woman's heart, but she has the broken heart over her head. She's not backing down, but he is cutting her up with whatever he's saying, and it's hurting her really badly. And in the foreground, you see someone trying to stop their ears up because they don't want to hear these two people arguing. Now, what I get is parents. These are parents in the background, and this is their child. And they argue all the time, and they don't want to hear them arguing. They're tired of hearing it all the time. They're tired of hearing their parents argue. This could be what happened to this person when they were younger, that they witnessed their parents fighting and arguing all the time, and how dad used to say some vicious things to mom, okay? Or flip it in reverse, or however but in this card, it's a man saying some really crazy stuff to his wife or his woman, and it's breaking her heart. But he is stopping his ears because he's tired of hearing it. So it probably happened a lot. Okay? So this would explain if this happened a lot, and they probably were traumatized from that and maybe some other things, but from this in particular, this is why they're walking around like this, bringing chaos everywhere they go, arguing with everybody, because this argument started here when they were a kid. That's what I'm getting. Last card says blocked and deleted, and it came out in the reverse. Okay. It says hard stop, access denied, protecting your peace digitally and emotionally. Sometimes silence is self-respect, but it's in the reverse. So this person probably, when they do their late night call, and people already know how this person is, and they're not trying to fool with this person, when they do their late night call, they're getting blocked and deleted. It's in the reverse because this person want people to pick up, and it's not happening. They want what they want from people, and they're trying to communicate with people, but it's not happening. It could be that they're being blocked. People are blocking them on their phones so they can't get through. Okay? So they may have to just leave a voicemail or whatever, but these people are not responding. That's why it's in reverse. And they don't want it to be in reverse. That's why they're making late night calls to try to catch people off guard. Because you know, when you have sleep, you halfway don't know what's going on. You might say yes to something you should be saying no to. You know, probably what they do when they get drunk, they saying yes to things they should probably say no to. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? So let's get some tarot on this real quick, because we are already 17 minutes in explaining all these cards. I usually do 6, but 8 dropped out. So I'm going to try to go ahead and clarify some of these cards and then in this video. Okay. Ooh. Well, that wasn't a good shuffle. Let's try that again. Oh, my hands is not working. A little bit better. Okay. Some cards are the backwards. What? Hold on. Oh. I'm like, wait a minute. All right. Spirit, why do we have the drama magnet? Thank you. For drama magnet, we get the 6 of Swords in the upright. Okay. For drama magnet, let's see. I'm going to spread these out. Drama magnet, we get the 6 of Swords in the upright. So this person, for the drama magnet, they are they're gonna have to release some baggage. So in releasing, this person has baggage. This is why, and that's why I said that card that said family drama is something that probably happened to them when they were younger. This person has some kind of baggage that they're carrying from when they were a youth. Some kind of trauma. That's why that family drama card came out. And for the drama magnet card, they're walking around and they're projecting their trauma onto other people. They become this person, right? So we got the 6 of Swords in the upright that is explaining that this person has baggage. They need to release the baggage. The baggage is the trauma that they probably never addressed, okay? And so we get the 6 of Wands, 6 of Swords upright. This person needs to release their baggage and move on. They need to get the therapy that they need, or whatever it is that they feel they need to do to release this trauma that has them walking around being a drama magnet, okay? And that is why we got the Six of Swords for drama magnet. They need to let some things go. They've been holding on to it for so long, you know. And I don't know how old this person is. I don't know if it's a man or a woman. I don't know anything. Six of Swords is it's an air sign. I'm learning real slow, y'all. But yeah, that's an air sign. They need to release the baggage. They need to leave it behind. They need to transition and, you know, change. They need to grow. And they're not going to grow until they release this baggage, until they get the help that they need. They gotta admit that they got a problem, and that's the first step to finding the help that you need. You gotta admit that you have an issue. You're really trying to work on it, but that's what's wrong with this person. Spirit, why late night call? Why do we have late night call? Why do we have late night call, please? Why late night call, please? For late night call, we get the Three of Cups in the reverse. Okay. So Three of Cups is in reverse for late night call. Late night call, we remember it's the booty call card. And this is a card that they use, you know, under the cover. This is what they do under the cover of darkness. They're making these calls because they need some attention. They need something to soothe their emotions from being rejected by people because they're walking around being a drama magnet. So we get the Three of Cups in reverse. This person, and then remember I said that this person is looking for, this is the booty call card. This person is looking for something to boost their ego, because rejection attacks their ego. Okay. And so with the Three of Cups in reverse, this is a card that signifies overindulgence. It says it on the card. Heavy partying. Okay. Then there's isolation, independence, alone time. You know, a lot of gossip going on about this person, as I already mentioned. That this person, under the cover of darkness, overindulges in, you know what? So I don't want to say it because I don't want to get dinged by YouTube. But this person is overindulging. Definitely the drinking, because we have the bar card on here, the drunk text card. They're doing heavy partying. They're getting it in. But when they're by themselves and they isolate, they, they do a lot of thinking about the stuff that they're doing, but it doesn't stop them from continuing to do it. That's what this Three of Cups card is. Because in the upright, this is a celebration. When it's upright, you're enjoying life. You're celebrating your accomplishments and different things. But when it's in the reverse, this is somebody that's alone. They don't have people to celebrate with that really care about them. There's no big accomplishments. They're isolated by themselves because they bring chaos everywhere they go. So this is why they're doing all this heavy partying. But they need to release their baggage so they can move on. That's what they need to do. Okay? Why the CEO energy, Spirit? It's late, y'all. That's why I'm talking so low. CEO energy in reverse. And you gave me the Four of Cups. I'm sorry, the Four of Swords in the upright. Okay. This person is not in that boss energy anymore. And they out here doing a lot of stuff, overindulging, causing problems, calling people late at night, trying to get it in, doing that heavy partying and all of that. They need to sit down somewhere, which is what this card is saying. They need to sit down somewhere and relax. They need to take a break and get themselves together. They need to rest. They need to learn how to relax, and I don't think this person can. They haven't been able to do that. They need to recuperate, probably because it's overindulgence and heavy partying is probably wreaking havoc on their body, definitely on their spirit. You know what I'm saying? They need to retreat. They need to learn what solitude is. This might be a person that jumped from relationship to relationship, or they let people think it's a relationship, but they're not faithful to nobody. They're not. They may have that person think that they are faithful to them, but they're not. That's why they overindulge and do the heavy partying. It's very likely, very possible that when they leave the bar, they go home with anybody, trying to compensate for something that's missing in their life. And this four swords in the upright is saying they need to rest. They need to learn how to relax. They need to learn how to woosah, how to sit back and take inventory of their life, take stock of their life, and look back and see, look at the results of the decisions that they've made. They need to do some contemplation. They need to do that. They need to retreat. They need to find some solitude. This person, by being on the card that solitude is what they're needing to do, that puts me in mind that they gotta have somebody all the time. So they gotta be with somebody. They gotta be in a relationship, or they let somebody think it's a relationship or whatever. For them, it's a good thing that they think it's a relationship, which means they're not gonna be by themselves. So this person don't like to be alone. Okay. So anybody will do. Next card is Spill the Tea card. And it's in the reverse. Spirit, why spill the tea in the reverse, please? Remember I said spill the tea card is... I'm sorry. These are out of order. Let me fix this. The next card should be office politics first and then spill the tea. Okay, Spirit? When I put them back, I put them out of order. So they're back in order now. So we're going to do office politics first. They're almost the same type of meaning with these two cards, but we'll do things the right way. Spirit, why do we have office politics in reverse on the table? Office politics is clarified by the... This is a Nine of Swords, I believe. Let me see. Yep, Nine of Swords. Okay. So office politics in reverse is that this person doesn't want people talking about what they're doing under the cloak of darkness. Remember I said earlier that this person may be out here doing something under the cloak of darkness for money. It's very possible. And so the office politics is groups of people that is talking about this person because word is getting out on the street, maybe at work. If they're working, that this person is out here doing that, they out here wilding out. They out here doing some things that they shouldn't be doing. And that's why the office politics card is in reverse, because they don't want people to know. And to clarify that, we got the Nine of Swords, and it is in reverse. This person they have secrets. This, like I said, they're trying to keep secrets. That's why this card is out here. They're trying to keep secrets. They're trying to keep people from knowing what they're doing, how they roll, what they do when nobody's looking. They probably tell people that they get with, don't tell nobody what we do. You know what I'm saying? And, this is something that's probably ongoing and is under the cloak of darkness or in secret hotels, motels, Holiday Inn, whatever. You know what I'm saying? This person is doing things and they want to keep it a secret. That's why that office politics card is in the reverse. And that's why we got the Nine of Swords in reverse. Because they don't want people to know their secrets. They're fearful of people learning the secrets that they have. They have a worry. They're worried about it. They don't want nobody to know what they're doing. Spirit, why do we have spill the tea in reverse? That was quick. Spill the tea in reverse is clarified by the Knight of Pentacles upright. Okay. The spill the tea card is people gossiping about this person again. These are groups of people in different places, some at work. Spill the tea is spreading out in this neighborhood, maybe where they live. You know what I'm saying? They frequent often. It's getting out in the streets. People are talking about this, what this person is doing, how they fell off. They ain't not in that boss energy no more. Have you seen so-and-so? You seen how he looked? Have you seen so-and-so? Girl, she look bad. You know what I mean? She out here. I saw her on so-and-so street. Now, that's where the stroll is, where people, you know what I'm saying? This is what people are doing. Yeah, my friend said she called him late at night, about 1 something in the morning, wanting to know can she come over. You know what I'm saying? And this is what's happening. This is going on. This is the gossip. The gossip mill is going. They're out here talking about this person. Everywhere they go, there's nowhere they can go without being talked about. So we have the Knight of Pentacles. And when I say they talking at the office and out on the streets, this card says in the upright, this is supposed to be a person that's hard at work. They're being productive. They're supposed to be a conservative type of person, and responsible person. And it is in the upright saying that this is what it's supposed to be, but that's not what's happening. This person is doing the absolute opposite of what this card is saying. And that's what people are talking about. This person is not productive. They're not in their boss energy. They're not working hard. They're not productive. They're not conservative because they're doing late night calls for booty calls and at the bar. So there's nothing conservative about that type of behavior. You know what I mean? This is not that type of person. So this card is saying what it should be, but that's not what it is. But maybe that's how they're trying to come off, like they are that person. That's why it's in the upright. But that's not what's really happening. So they're trying to fool people that they're this type of person, but they're really not. And they're working hard to have that image out there, but I think it's too late because people is already talking everywhere they go. So it's like their reputation precedes them. Next card would be the drunk text card in the upright. Okay. And it says, liquid courage, honesty, late night confessions, unfiltered emotions. A drunk mind speaks a sober heart. Spirit, why do we have the drunk text card? Can you clarify that for me, please? Thank you so much. The drunk text card is the King of Swords in reverse. Okay? The King of Swords in reverse says quiet power, inner truth, callousness, weakness, loss of emotional control, manipulation, misuse of power. Exactly. So when this person is drunk, they're at the bar, they do lose control of themselves. A lot of people do when they're drunk. Some people function pretty good while they're drunk. They're functioning alcoholics and stuff like that. Functioning whatever they use. So when they're drunk and they're at the bar or at home over somebody else's house drunk or wherever they are, when they're drunk, they text things and they don't have a good control, good sense of what they're saying. So they're going to say some things that they probably shouldn't say. So the King of Swords in reverse is saying this person is weak. It's a weakness that they have with this alcohol. Inner truth on this card. Meaning when they're drunk, they're going to speak their truth. How they really feel is going to come out when they're drunk. Whether it's good or it's bad, it's coming out. How they feel about somebody is coming out. Whether they like them or don't like them, they're going to tell them. And they're going to probably be detailed about it when they're drunk. Because people have liquid courage, like it says on this, be bold when they're drunk. Say a lot of things they wouldn't normally say. So this card is saying there's weakness with this person to this alcohol. They have a loss of emotional control, which means they can get angry and do things that they shouldn't do or say things that they shouldn't say because they're drunk. Okay? They can be very manipulative. If they already were manipulative before they started drinking, they're even worse when they start drinking. And then they misuse the power that they have over people so they can be a little bossy, um, bully, like, aggressive, stuff like that when they drink. You understand what I'm saying? So this is describing this person almost perfectly. Whoever this person is that we're talking about, that's on this spread, that this is what they do when they drink. This is what they say when they drink. This is how they act when they drink. And they're drinking to try to cover up some stuff that's been bothering them that they've been dealing with. They're losing friends everywhere because they bring in drama and chaos everywhere they go. So people are trying to stay away from this person that this person is noticing. Don't nobody want to fool with them, so they make their late night calls to try to soothe themselves from the fact that they're being rejected by people everywhere they go. They're not in the boss energy, so they're embarrassed by the fact that they probably them fell off somewhere, and they're talking about it in big circles and corporate circles, or they're talking about it at wherever they work or used to work. They're talking about it word on the street. They're spilling the tea about this person. They've been seen, not in that boss energy. They're not where they used to be. They're not who they was. And they're talking about also that they've seen this person in strange places, or they're hearing that this person is having this type of behavior where they're drinking and doing things, while they're inhibited. They're saying things while they're inhibited. They're making calls to people, trying to, do the booty call thing. And people are tripping like, can you believe that they called? They called so-and-so trying to go over there with them. You know what I'm saying? And like, I don't want to go too deep, but I think you understand what I'm saying. So, and then they get aggressive when they don't get their way. They're probably the type of person that even when they ain't drinking, they're already aggressive. So the drinking just makes it worse. It brings out whatever bad qualities this person has. It seems like the alcohol is enhancing that. And then with them not being in their right mind, that they're probably leaving the bar with whoever. And so with the King of Swords in reverse, this person has a weakness to alcohol now. I don't know if it was ever that way before, but it is now. And they are speaking their truth of how they feel about people. And it's, they're on the emotion. They have no emotional control, so they can be aggressive. They could be crying one minute, they could be laughing the next, and they be cussing somebody out the next minute. So this person is a mess. They are a roller coaster of emotions right now when they are drunk. And people are not trying to fool with this person, and they don't feel good about that because they seem like they don't do well with rejection. So next card is going to be family drama. So Spirit, why do we have family drama, please? Thank you. All right. So family drama is clarified by the Knight of Wands in the upright. Okay. Remember, the family drama is, I was saying in this picture, in this card on this picture on this card, that looks like parents arguing and their child is trying to not, they're tired of hearing their parents argue. So this seems to be something ongoing with this that they have experienced when they were younger, when their parents were together at the house. And there's a lot of arguing going on. And like I said, among other things, I got a feeling some other stuff had happened, but this is one particular thing that bugged them, that traumatized them. And they got tired, or they were tired of hearing their parents argue all the time. And dad was saying some really painful and ugly things to mom, or, whether they were married or not. And it was breaking her heart, but she didn't back down. She, argued back, but it was breaking her, what dad was saying. And they did all this in front of this child. And the Knight of Wands can be somebody that They say the Knight of Wands is the slowest knight in the deck. So this person, I don't feel like this person moves slow. I feel like this person is impulsive. They need to slow down. That's why it's in the upright and think things through. But they don't do that. Because remember, they out here willy-nilly. So this card is saying slow down. Take a second. Think about what your actions, what you're doing. Think about it. Think about those calls that you're making, the people that you just running around, you might be sleeping with randomly. Slow down a minute. That this person is impulsive. That it says passionate on here. So this person is moving in lust. That's why they be at the bar. That's why they make the late night calls. This person is not doing the work for their ascension or whatever you want to call it, but this person is operating out of lust. They kind of have fallen to that state because, they're not in a boss energy anymore. So maybe the gossip that's going on about this person saying that this person is doing something a little strange, for money. Maybe it's because on this card that says passionate, they're out here lusting. So this is confirming what I picked up on earlier in the reading, that this person is out here. They probably are leaving the bar with anybody. Last card is blocked and deleted in reverse. I'll put that right there. My spirit. Why do we have blocked and deleted in reverse? Why do we have blocked and deleted in reverse? Spirit. Why is that? Why is this person, I almost fell, blocked and deleted? Why is this person being blocked and deleted, Spirit? Why is that? Person, what did they, besides what I'm seeing on this table, they really have to be wilding out like to a point to where people don't want to be bothered with them. They reaching out to people. When they make these late night calls, they're not getting through to everybody because people are blocking their number. They're blocking it. Some people, blocking them on social media because they can't get through on the phone. So this person is kind of a little desperate. They deleting them as friends on Facebook or whatever social media platform that they're on. They're getting deleted. They're not even trying to associate with this person. They're unfriending them, and I don't know what they do on TikTok and them other platforms. But yeah, they blocked and deleted. So I Spirit, why do we have blocked and deleted in reverse? And this card is the Hierophant. Okay. This is the Hierophant upright. Wow. Hierophant is Earth sign Taurus. Okay. It says institutions, tradition, religion, society and its rules, social approval, conformity, forgiveness, bondage, mercy, wisdom, and trust. Institutions, religion, stick out to me. Society and its rules. So this person doesn't follow the normal society rules, okay? Not at all. This person could possibly be doing these things. They may have been, I don't want to say put up to do it, somebody have them doing this, but that's what it's looking like. It's what it's sounding like. Like this person appears to They reject the norm, what's normal, what is traditional, what most people would say is good to do, the right thing to do. They reject that. Um, they don't conform to what everybody else is doing. For example, they don't do traditional relationships. Go traditional man and woman meet, date, fall in love, marry, have kids, live together for the rest of their life type thing, something like that. They don't do that. This person I'm getting, when I say they don't do traditional connections or relationships, this person, when they leave the bar, when I say anybody, man or woman, it doesn't matter who they leave with. This person, as long as they get what they need from an individual, it can be a man or a woman. You understand me? They don't conform to what's normal. If this person is a man, they don't conform to just being with a woman. This person is a woman, they don't just conform to being with a man. Okay? They do both. And I just heard anybody. And the way I heard it means they could be they could be with a man or a woman, or a man that looks like a woman, or a woman that looks like a man, or anything in between. It doesn't matter to this person. That's why they don't conform to what's traditional. That's why they're not in that boss energy anymore, because this is what they've, I don't want to say given over to, but this is what they've chosen to do. And that's why people are talking everywhere they go. It's spreading like wildfire. They're talking at work. They're talking in social groups outside of work, in the city, the neighborhood, the state, who knows, just traveling, possibly out of state. And this is why they have secrets. They don't want people to know what they're doing. That's why the office politics cards and the spill of tea card are both in reverse. They don't want people to talk about this. They are trying to keep secrets about what they do under the cover of darkness. Not necessarily nighttime, but yes, at night. Under the cover of darkness means keeping it hidden. This is why they are a drama magnet everywhere they go, because they feel like, they feel guilty because they feel like people may know what's going on with them. So it causes them to behave with chaos. So they start projecting because they're fearful that people that they get around, anybody that they get around, possibly know what they got going on. So they start things to try to project and throw people off. You know what I'm saying? So people are not trying to fool with this person because of that type of behavior. But not only that, it's because it's spreading around what they're doing. Their secret is getting out. They don't want it out, but it's getting out. And so people are turning their backs on this person. That's why when they do their late night booty call, they're not getting through like they normally do. That's why they block and delete it. People are blocking them on their phones. They're blocking them on social media. And some people deleting them altogether, not trying to associate with this person because the word is getting out what this person is all about. Their little secret is getting out. And they know that it's getting out. That's why they go to the bar. They be drinking so much. They not necessarily at a bar, but they do go to the bars and the clubs and stuff. They be drinking and they get toe up. They trying to forget. They trying to drown out what's happening. And then they start talking and running their mouth while they, drinking, because they're weak to the alcohol. And they out here talking and running their mouth and spilling the beans because they're drunk. And people are listening and taking note. So the next day, you know, they trying to figure out why people looking at them crazy. Well, you was just in the bar last night running your mouth and you said some things, you don't even remember what you said because you was drunk. Mm-hmm. And then you left the bar. You may not even know who you left with. You know you left with somebody, but you probably didn't even know that person. So word is getting out on the street. And they're blocking this person. They're not trying to deal with this person. And this person is not a non-traditional person. They don't want people to know that they do both. They do any. So I can't say bye. I can't say try. They whatever. It doesn't matter to this person. And this is what's getting out. This is what is causing them not to be in the CEO and the boss energy as far as their finances, because they're spending their money here doing this stuff after dark. And that's why people are talking about them. That's why gossip is spreading like it is. That's why. And you know, we was like, why is this person acting that way? That's why. This may be the only reason, or it could be the biggest reason, one of many. But this is why they out here acting a fool. And this is why, that's how they learn how to be, arguing with folks and bringing chaos with them. And I want to ask Spirit, I don't have no more cards to clarify, but I want to ask Spirit, what does this person need to do? What does this person need to know? We have all this going on, Spirit. What does this person need? Like, this person seems like they fell from grace. What is their next step? What are they thinking? Like, but this is happening to them. Everybody is learning who this person is and what they've been hiding all this time, and people are pulling away from them. They're losing their boss energy status in the eyes of people. They may have been looked at as a boss. You know, they may have projected an image that was false, and that has fallen apart. That could be why that CEO energy is in the reverse. And all this seems like it's coming out in the open. Hold on. What does this person need to know? What is it that's happening? How does this person feel? We have the Seven of Wands in the upright. And this is what fell on the floor, and I just picked it up the way it fell. This is a fire sign energy. Leo, possibly. This person feels like they have to defend themselves. But if you look at this person on this card, they look like they're fighting the other ones. That looks like they're fighting against the other wands that other people might possibly be coming against them with. This person is very defensive right now. They're very defensive. They're just trying to maintain some sense of control over their life since it's falling apart, but they're losing control. Protection is on this card as well. And it's in the upright. This person needs to protect themselves. Maybe they're not using protection while they're out here running the streets, doing the booty calls and leaving with people at the bar. The card is upright and protection is on the card, which means they need to protect themselves. And they're not doing that. But they are very defensive right now. Those things is caving in for this person. They're defensive. And they're weighing their options right now. They're weighing their options. They're trying to, they're avoiding, once again, doing the work. They're avoiding making a decision. Which way do I go? They're avoiding that. But the Justice card is in the building. Justice card is the next card. Somebody is going to hold this person responsible for the way they are behaving. Because if they're not using any protection, and this is a decision, a difficult, this is a decision they made not to, okay, let me do it this way. They're not using any protection. They're competitive right now. I won't even say competitive, they're defensive right now. And they're trying to protect themselves from, when you're defensive, you're trying to protect yourself, but also protection in the upright gives me the feeling that they're not using protection. They need to be, but they're not, okay? And they have made that decision to do that, to not use protection for some reason. And justice is in the building saying that this person is getting ready to be held accountable for not using protection, which says to me that this person then picked something up. Because why would justice have to come make things right for this person not using protection? Next card is the Emperor in reverse. This person is a very stubborn, tyrannical type of person. The word at the bottom is, let me see. Let me see if it's not going to focus. But that last word at the very bottom is the word reckless. So this person, when I originally started this, I said this person was out here willy-nilly. That's what all the gossip is about. And then this card comes out. I told you that they leaving from the bar, leaving with anybody. It doesn't matter to them. They're doing the late night calls, trying to get with somebody, just random. It doesn't matter. And then this card comes out, which is the Emperor in reverse. And on this card, it says reckless. So this person is being very reckless because the cards before that said that this person was not using protection. So judgment came in the building to say that they about to be held accountable because they out here being reckless. Okay. Whatever that justice is going to be, it's coming. Let's see what's at the bottom of the deck. At the bottom of the deck, we have the High Priestess in reverse. Okay. High Priestess in reverse says secrets, harm, hidden agenda, disconnected from your intuition, withdrawal, silence, selfish, shallowness, ignorance, and misunderstanding. This is describing that person. This is why they're out here like this. Okay? They're not listening to their intuition. They're not even listening to common sense. Because why would you not use protection? Why are you out here being reckless? And they are having secrets, which is what people are talking about. That's on this card as well. This person is withdrawing from everybody because everybody was withdrawing from them. Okay? They're doing things quietly. They're doing whatever they do under the cloak of darkness quietly. They're trying to keep it a secret. They do know that what they're doing right now is not good. They do know that it's not right. They are aware of that. But this person is selfish. They're very stubborn. They're being shallow. I think it has misunderstanding on here. This person believes that that what they're doing is okay. They feel like, and I'm getting this intuitively, that the misunderstanding is coming in when they do their thing at night where they're not using any protection. They don't feel like, or did not feel like, either or, and they're with anybody, doing what they do with anybody, no protection. They don't feel like there's going to be any repercussions from being that way. You know, I personally, and you want to be with anybody you want to be with, that's your business if you want to do that. But this person, if this is what they're doing, they're not wrapping it up. They're not. If the female, she don't bring it with her, there's no protection. And if justice comes in the building because this person is not using the protection that they need, then this person may be carrying something and spreading it around. Okay? Why else would justice come right after that? Remember what I said? This person is they're on the defense. They're trying to protect themselves from what people are saying about them, but they're also not using protection, which is what they should do, which is why this isn't upright. They're not using protection. And this is a decision they blindly made to do. They didn't really think about it. They don't think about it. They just do what they're doing without protection. And then justice came in the building to make things right because this person is not doing what they're supposed to do while they out here willy-nilly. And you want to live your best life, but protect yourself. You're not doing that. And justice is in the building to make this person be responsible, to take some responsibility for being out here doing what they're doing. Okay? This person is really out here being reckless. Okay? They're really out here being reckless. This is in the reverse, the Emperor in reverse. And the last card is the High Priestess in reverse. They're out here being reckless because they want to continue to do what they're doing under the cover of darkness. They don't want to be found out. They don't want people to talk about it. They don't want their secrets exposed. They want to stay hidden. They want to stay in the dark. They want to continue to do this. They want to continue to spread whatever it is that they have to other people. This is what's going on. Okay? They're out here unprotected, willy-nilly, then fell from grace. They're not that stand-up person that they projected before everybody is figuring out this person is a fraud. Okay? They're out here. They then lost their CEO, their boss energy, the image that they so carefully polished for a long time has shattered. Okay? People are talking about it in high circles and low circles, out on the word on the street. This person is out here willy-nilly doing whatever. Okay? They needed to sit down somewhere, regroup, you know what I mean, and contemplate over the decisions that they're making and how they're living their life, but they're not going to do that, but that's what they need to do. Okay? They don't want their secrets out. And, you know, they don't want to be responsible for what they're doing to other people. So this person is out here being reckless. And they're out here traumatizing other people. They're out ruining other people's lives because they don't cover it up. And justice came in the building to make them be responsible. Something's about to happen for this person that they probably not going to see coming. But they are about to be held accountable for their behavior out here in these streets. And people are not wanting to talk to this person. They're pulling away from this person as word gets out. And a part of the big reason they're the way they are, running the streets, causing chaos everywhere they go, and being reckless the way they are, is because they saw that at home. They saw it at home growing up. If this reading resonated with you, please let me know. Drop a comment down in the comment section down below and let me know that this resonated with you. Whether it's you or someone else that you know. If this is already happening, you saw this happen to someone else, let me know that too. Just let me know how you feel about this reading in general. I hope that it was enlightening. I hope that that it did shed some light on some things for you. Maybe you were asking some questions about somebody. I don't know if this is you or somebody else. That is not on the table. And I hope you all have a good night, and we'll see you again on the next one. Peace, love, and light.